Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. So today I'm going to be doing the Booktube Journey Tag to celebrate my 2 years on Booktube. My actual Booktube anniversary is in June, but here we are in December, and the same thing happened to me last year. I just didn't get around to it, but I still wanted to celebrate it. So here we are in December, 6 months later. Apparently that's a thing for me. I celebrate my anniversary 6 months later. Hopefully I can do it on time next year. We'll see. But I still wanted to celebrate it and do this tag because I was thinking of a good way to celebrate. And I had done a poll back in June asking y'all what you wanted from me, and to do a tag related video was one of the top contenders. Also, close a little bit higher than that was alive, and I don't know if I can do that right now. I might be able to later. I don't know, but this is the best I can do. So I hope you still like this video, and maybe if you haven't been with me the entire time, you can learn more about me. Also, just so you know, I am still sick. My last video, I mentioned that I was not feeling the best. I feel a good bit better, but I think I have an ear infection, so that it is what it is. So anyways, let's get into the questions. So this book tag was created by Books and Things, and I really liked all the questions. I thought they kind of gave a little bit of variety of the answers you would get to know the booktuber better and kind of their history. So there are a lot of questions, but I like them. So here we go. So number one is, how long have you been watching Booktube? And this one, I don't know. It's been a long time. I think I started watching YouTube to watch Booktube. I think. I feel like I've been watching it for a long time. Probably like 2015, 2016, 2017, somewhere around there. Maybe even before that. I'm not sure. I used to watch like the secular, because at the time I was not a Christian, and I would watch like the really big channels with like 100,000 plus subscribers, and I enjoyed the content at that time because that's what I was reading. But I still noticed that it was still kind of, especially the bigger channels, more. I don't want to say cutthroat, but there were kind of some savage comments, and just you could tell a lot of consumerism and a lot of just not the best scene. But I watched it because of all the books, that I would learn about. So whenever I started to become a Christian, somehow I guess YouTube knew that, and I had a recommendation for Christian fiction or nonfiction or something from Oshina's channel. And so this was in 2022, end of 2021, early 2022. And I clicked on her video, loved how different her feel of channel was and the content. And this was the type of books that I wanted to read, because I had stopped watching regular Booktube just because of the problematic content in the books and that whole negative atmosphere and vibe that I was getting from that. So whenever I found Oshina's channel, I was so excited because this was a whole new world, a different side of Booktube than I'd seen all these years before. And I was like, wait a second, there's actually a subset of Booktube, which is Christian Booktube, or at least Clean. Specifically Clean reads Booktube. So that started me on the rabbit hole, and I found more and more people as I kind of grew to know the community. I think other people have a similar experience. Oshina is kind of the gateway to Christian Booktube for a lot of people. She's one of our this community's bigger channels. So thank you, Oshina, for having your channel. So yeah, and then question 2 is, how long have you been making Booktube videos? So like I said, 2.5 years. I guess this is number 3. What made you start making videos? So whenever I found this community, I was just so impressed with how much of a community it actually was. It was more kind of like a large virtual friend group versus like what I'd seen in the past where there's just so many people so inundated. There was no way you can make a personal connection on there. But Christian Booktube, you could see the friendships growing as the community was growing. People talked to each other. The comments were friendly and welcoming, helpful. And I have never really had long-term friends that cared about reading. And I had tried to join a book club through my library at one point. That was not a great experience because the books they were reading, one of them absolutely traumatized me. I enjoyed like the discussions of talking about books, but the books they were reading were just not very interesting to me and traumatizing. But so I stopped going to that. So I needed almost like a replacement. I needed some place to voice my passion or my thoughts on books. And I needed some connection related to books, and I felt like these were my people, because we have Christian clean content books in common, and it seemed like a pretty safe space. And that kind of goes into question 4, which is, are there any people who have played a significant role in your booktube journey? So watching these people talk, I just felt like I was, a part of the friend group, like I could participate, if that makes sense. And one in particular, Amanda, she started around the same time that I started watching Christian Booktube. And she just seemed so relatable, and like watching her, I felt like if she can do it, I can do it, type of thing. And she actually did encourage me to start a channel, so she is one of the reasons that kind of spurred me to taking the next step. So I really appreciate her for that. And then, like I said, Oshina, just kind of getting me into the door of the community to begin with. And then just so many people over the 2.5 years who have helped me with advice, indirectly or directly, the friendships I've made. So a lot of people, I would say, I've gotten to connect with, and I've been really thankful for. So I really adore this community. So number 5, what kind of books do you like to read? So if it goes without saying, I do like to read Christian fiction and clean fiction. That's all I read. Specifically under that umbrella, that very large umbrella, I am an historical fiction. It's got to have romance though, or a romantasy reader. And I read fairy tale retellings, which I think kind of falls under romantasy, sort of. It depends on who you talk to, like where the genre breakdown is. But I love, those are my top 2 genres that I typically like to read. Number 6, how has that changed since you started on Booktube? So when I started Booktube, I primarily focused on just Christian fiction because I did not know there were safe secular options, other than like classics, which I'm not a big classics girl. So I was going to say, or nonfiction, but I don't even touch nonfiction really. So, but yeah, so I have since discovered the clean side of secular fiction where it could be written by a Christian author, but they're not branded or specifically have Christian messages or allegory or anything like that. So I would say a lot of my reading this year has actually not been Christian fiction. It's been secular, clean fiction. And before I was a Christian, I would read a lot of romantasy. But when I became a Christian, a lot of those books had sexual content in it that I was not comfortable reading. And I didn't realize there was a clean version. So I discovered that, and since I've created a fairy tale retellings readathon that is supposed to be for clean fairy tale retellings and things like that. So yeah, it's kind of, I still read Christian fiction, but a lot of it, a lot of what I read is also clean in general. So, let's see. Number 7, what kinds of videos do you like to make most? I do like vlogs, like the end, the end products of vlogs, especially ones where I've traveled somewhere. I'm talking like I've made a lot of these. I haven't. But like I show you something interesting that, an interesting experience, so to take you along with me type of thing. But those are very involved to make, and I just can't do them now. I don't know when I'll be able to again, but it does require a lot more work, which I'm not as much of a fan of, all the clips and the edits and compiling it all together. But the end product I really do enjoy. So right now I would say the tags are a pretty easy video to get out and still talk to y'all. But I especially love talking about the books I read, which is the meat and butter. Is that the right phrase? Of Booktube is talking about books that you read. So I'm gonna say I'm kind of pretty basic. So every once in a while I do come up with an idea, but most of the time at this point in my life, I just don't have the time or the energy to kind of devote to it. But hopefully in the future I will be able to be more creative with videos. Let's see. 8. Number 8. How has that changed since you started on Booktube? Do you think your video making skills have changed over time? I will say I used to do a little bit more vlogs. I mean, I don't do any vlogs now. The last one I did wasn't back in June. But I did a little bit more vlogs before. Yeah, I would say my content has stayed fairly the same. As far as my editing, I would like to think, y'all let me know if you've noticed over the past 2 years if you've been with me, but I would like to think my editing has gotten better over time. I've learned quite a lot. I started with the basic Windows movie player editor thingy that comes with the Windows computer. I hated that program. I could not figure out how to put the pictures all prettily on the screen. I was like, oh my goodness, I cannot figure this out. And I'm kind of like, I was showing things on my Kindle instead, or just not even showing anything and just talking about it. So now I have a program that does allow me to put things up on the screen for y'all to see. So that's definitely an improvement for sure. I think I've gotten more confident with talking in front of a camera as well. I don't think, maybe I just don't notice it as much, but I feel like now that I'm talking about it, I can't get the words out, but I feel like my conversation flows more naturally versus like stuttering and stopping and all the things. So other than that, I'm pretty basic with my edits. I would love to be on Celestia and Tabitha's level where I have like GIFs and things like that, because in my brain I do have some that I would like to bring up, but I don't quite know how to do that. And it's just a lot. Editing is my least favorite thing about the video making process. It's very time consuming, and you have to have a fine touch. Right now, actually, I do my editing on, it's a Surface Pro, is that what it's called? Computer, and the keyboard doesn't work anymore. So I'm doing edits via touchscreen. Some people edit on their phone. I don't see how you do that, honestly. That's beyond me. It's too tiny. So, but if I touch the wrong way, it doesn't do right. Editing is not my favorite. Anyways, moving on. Number 9, do you script and or edit your videos, and has that changed over time? I don't script them per se. I just, I do have a notebook where I write down points to remember, because whenever you get in front of the camera, if you've never done it before, it's like your mind goes blank and goes into la la land or something, goes to outer space, whatever you want to call it, and you just forget to talk about the things that you would have normally talked about when you weren't in front of the camera. And as soon as you're done filming, you're like, oh, I should have said that. Why didn't I say that? So I do try and make notes of things to help my brain remember, because my memory is a little bit of a struggle anyway. So that just helps me out to be able to say what I want to say. And then, as I mentioned before, I do edit my videos, not as heavily as I used to, but as far as like cutting out ums and uhs, and I used to cut out every single one. I would go through and meticulously cut out every single and and I don't do that now. I just do it if there's like a weird gap where I'm like, brain is computing, I don't know what to say, you know? So I do cut out those, but I'm not, I mean, I'm human. I know y'all know that. So number 10, what's the most viewed video on your channel? So I always think this one's pretty interesting, because it was actually, I used to think it was the first video I did, because I filmed 2 videos. My first 2 videos I filmed back to back the same day, but I posted them on different days. And so it actually was the first video I filmed, but the second one I posted. So it is a book haul video. It had 50 Christian books. And this was the time whenever I actually went through, I didn't show y'all, but I had gone through my entire book collection that I owned. It wasn't very much. I was not a big book collector back then. And I had purged everything that I thought was problematic or wasn't interested in anymore. And so I had a lot of book credit to a used bookstore. And so I bought all Christian books at that point, which allowed me to do that video. And I have not since had that much to show at one time. Although I do have a book haul planned from Black Friday. I haven't gotten everything in yet, and I'll be pretty close, I think, to that original 50 books. I don't know if it'll be that much, but it'll be close. So anyways, yeah, that is my number one video. I don't know if it's because YouTube pushes out like consumerism and buy. I don't know if that's what it is, but yeah, that one is my most popular one to date. And I will link it below if you haven't seen it and you need some recommendations. I have thought about doing a reaction video to see if I've actually read or kept those books before. But again, that's a lot of editing. I just haven't gotten around to doing that yet. But that is on my ideas of videos. I have so many ideas, not enough time to put them into fruition. Let's see. Number 11, what's your favorite video you've ever made? This one's tough. Ooh, I don't think I have like an all-time favorite video to top them all. I think the telephone book tag I did, that one was fun because it was that's a very creative tag. And I decided, because I got tagged by 2 people, so I decided to kind of take 2 different routes to get to the same book. Because if you don't know what it is, the person who tags you has a book cover, and you're supposed to use that book cover to move to other book covers to get to a different end product, kind of like the game telephone, and then you're supposed to tag somebody else. So I hope that made sense. I'll link the video below if you want to check it out, because that's obviously one of the ones I'm most proud of, just because of it took me a while to get all these books together, because yeah, it was a little bit more involved. But anyways, as far as like another video, any of the vlogs, you know, just because of the sheer amount of work of editing and for those, yeah, I can't think of any other specific ones. They're just not coming to mind right now. Number 12. Do you have a favorite book you read because of Booktube? Now, yes, I do. However, I will say too, kind of once you get involved in the Booktube community, and especially if you have a channel, that heavily influenced my reading. When you have a channel, it's kind of like I wouldn't say there's pressure, but you kind of get on the track of reading more than you would if you didn't have a channel. Yeah. I read a lot more, like more books in general because of being on Booktube. It's encouraged my reading a lot more. And then I would say a lot of the books, maybe like, I don't know, like 95% of them I've heard from other booktubers / Instagram too, but mostly other booktubers. I've had them recommended to me in some shape or fashion, and that's just because you know, I'm a toddler mom, gonna have a baby soon, so my time is precious. So I kind of rely heavily on other people's opinions that I trust to help me decide what to read, so I know it's worth my time and I don't waste it on books that I'm not gonna like. So that's just my personal take on it. But as far as a specific book to call out, one of them, and this is probably my favorite Christian fiction book, is When the Day Comes by Gabriel Meyer. And this one took Booktube by storm, took Instagram by storm, and for a good reason. It's very hyped and it's for a good reason. So yeah, I don't know. I have no idea if I would have picked this up if I hadn't been on Booktube. But I'm so glad I have, because I have created friendships from this book. I'm a part of a book buddy read for this series. And so the excitement sharing along that is priceless. So yes. Number 13. Do you have a favorite Booktube experience to tell us about? So yes, I have so many that I could talk about, and I'll try and be brief because it's hard to narrow it down. So over the time that I've been on Booktube, I have gotten several gifts, and I don't mean that in a braggy way or to say that I need them, need a physical thing. I just wanted to say that it really means a lot to me that someone would take the time to pick out something for me to read and then spend their hard-earned money to send it to me, especially in today's economy. So, I mean, just the thought behind it is what I'm getting at, is what I treasure the most. The little notes that come in the Amazon packages are the best. They're my favorite. Some of them have been quite beautiful, really touched me. And then the comments as well. Some comments especially have been very, very sweet and thoughtful. Y'all are just so caring and kind and checking on me when I inevitably disappear because I'm pregnant. So things like that. Y'all notice whenever I don't show up and check on me, and I really appreciate that. So that I will definitely say the community aspect of Booktube has been very, very meaningful to me. As I've said before, I don't have a ton of time between being a mom of a toddler and a new baby coming. So I really want to make sure I dedicate the time to this community because I want to be a part of it so much, because I love it so much. Also, I will say that starting my own readathon, the Once Upon a February readathon, working with those ladies to get that all up and running and going throughout February, doing our live show for that, or live stream for that, was so fun, and doing the trivia. And then also, I think one of the most fun I've had was doing my trivia for the Southern Charm readathon live show that we did. That was really, really fun. Kind of a plot twist at the end when two Canadians won the United States Southern themed live stream. That was pretty funny. So yeah, those are just a couple off the top of my head. But Oh, and then also meeting Anne. I was going to say that one too, because I had wanted for so long to meet one of my Booktube friends, and so I got to meet Anne this year. So I really enjoyed that, and I hope to meet more in the future at some point. And then number 14, what does your book collection look like? I have done a bookshelf tour not too terribly long ago, and it's pretty much the same other than all these books I bought recently, which I'm going to be doing a video on soon, and then it will definitely change because I'm going to have to reorganize to fit them all, but I will link that in the description box in case you're curious and haven't seen that video. But before Booktube, I did not really keep a lot of books, and now it's become a hobby in and of itself is to actually collect books. So I own quite a few that I have not read yet. So it's gotten bigger. I'll just say that. Number 15, what advice would you give to new people starting a Booktube channel? The biggest advice I have is to go for it. The hardest video is the first video, just because you have to get over the hump of the mental hurdle of putting yourself out there. Once you do that and you get into a rhythm of making videos, it becomes so much easier. It is a little, it's a different experience whenever you put yourself in front of the camera for the first time, but you get used to it over time, and you get better as you learn things. Your first videos are not going to be they're not going to be the best quality. You're going to stutter over yourself. You're going to second guess yourself. You know, it is a natural progression to get better over time. So yeah, I would definitely say just do it, because this community, especially if you're going to do videos in the Christian Booktube space, everybody's so welcoming. I am thrilled that the community has grown so much over time. I am still getting learning more channels. So I'm just really thrilled to see all that. It makes it very hard to keep up with everybody's videos, but I do love that the community is growing, and we are sharing books that have Christian elements to them, Christian messages, clean fiction. I just really think that there is such a need for it, because a lot of people have no idea that this alternative to the trash that's out there exists, and so our voices need to get heard. We need to get louder on that there is another option. There's good books that don't have to have the trash content. Yeah, so I mean, I am always available if you have any questions about starting a channel. I love helping. I wanted to be a teacher at one point. I didn't, but I love helping people and sharing my knowledge. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I thought about doing a tips for Booktube. It's on my mini lists of ideas for videos. I just haven't gotten to it yet, but that would be my biggest advice, is just go for it. And number 16 would be to tag some people. I'm not going to tag anybody specifically. It's because it's the holiday season. I don't, people are busy right now. So I will just say, if you have a YouTube channel that you've had for a bit of time, and it's your anniversary coming up, consider yourself tagged by me. I would love to see your answers. I find Booktube related videos fascinating on how people do things and how they have their channels have changed over time. So I find all that fascinating. So please, if you do have the opportunity, consider yourself tagged by me, and let me know if you have any thoughts on what I said. As always, as I've said before, I appreciate all of y'all's comments and interactions and things. Hey y'all, so Editing Taylor here. I completely forgot to mention in my rush to finish my questions so I could pick up my kid. If you hear her playing in the background, sorry about that. But I really want to do a giveaway as part of my Booktube anniversary celebration. So this is not affiliated with anything or anybody. This is just my own personal thank you for supporting my channel, and as part of my celebrating 2.5 years. So what the giveaway is for the winner, I will send the winner a book off of their Amazon book wish list. So you do have to have a book wish list on Amazon to participate. I have a dinosaur in my hand. Anyways, so if you want to enter, please leave me a comment below. You can ask me a question. If I get enough questions, I might do a Q&A. I've thought about doing possibly a live stream. We'll see if I can do that and answer questions. If not, if I have enough questions, I will do a video answering those. But thank you. So yeah, if you want to enter, leave me a comment with a bookstack emoji so I know you are interested in the giveaway and want to be entered. And the giveaway will close December 20th. So I will announce the giveaway soon after that in a video around that time. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to get it to you by Christmas. Probably that close, probably not. So by January at the latest, hopefully. But good luck, and thank y'all so much for watching and for supporting my channel.